Hey guys, it's Shannon. Today is another day where I want to do a little bit of a book review for all of my subscribers that are readers. And the book I want to talk to you about today is called The Note, A Story of Second Chances, and it's by Angela Hunt. It looks like this. Now, if you have followed my book reviews or discussions before, they're not really complete reviews, they're just kind of sort of a mini pseudo-review. You'll know that I have kind of a 3B scoring system where I vote to either buy it, borrow it, or burn it. So obviously meaning that if I suggest you buy it, then obviously I really liked it and it's a book that I would invest my money in, that I would feel comfortable with you spending your money on it. If I say to borrow it, then that means that I liked it, it was an okay read, but it's something that I would feel more comfortable if you maybe borrowed it from the library first or borrowed it from a friend and read it and decided for yourself whether you really liked it. And then if you really like it, then by all means go out and spend your money on it and buy it. Burn it means obviously what it sounds like. I really hated it and don't read it or buy it or borrow it. You know, it's a waste of your time. I don't have burn it very often because I'm very supportive of literature and of all kinds of literature, but every now and then on a super rare occasion I have a burn it. Okay, so The Note. Without ruining the story for you or anything about the book, this book was okay. I would rate this as a borrow it. Basically, it's a story sort of about kind of forgiveness and about how life always seems to sort of come full circle in some way or another. And it's just sort of a story about kind of correcting, mistakes in life and sort of making up for past differences in a way that you can kind of feel good about everything and just sort of let things go. And so the story in itself, I like the idea of the story, and I feel like the story had a ton of potential to be a really great book. There were a lot of little segments in the story where I thought to myself, man, if they had just taken that part and run with it and made that a major focus, this would be an excellent book. But it just sort of fell flat. It's a little bit of a too simplistic of a read. It's a little bit too predictable. It's a little bit to me it sort of feels like a lot of those books where you have like a ghost writer who is writing for another author who has maybe either maybe it's an author who's passed away, and so now you have other published authors that are kind of writing in her name, and each a different person writes a different book, and all trying to continue the series. Like V.C. Andrews is, I believe, a good example of where that has happened, where the original author of the original books died, and they have since paid other authors to sort of write as her so they could continue the legacy on year after year after year. But it's never the same, and it's usually a lot more simplistic, and it just doesn't hit the mark. And that's sort of how I feel about this book. I sort of feel like anybody could have written it. I sort of feel like I could have written it, you could have written it. There's nothing sort of about the writing that really just wowed me, where I was just like, man, this is a really good writer. And no offense to Angela Hunt or anything, I'm not judging her or her ability to write. That's just how I felt about this particular book. And I've not read any of her other books, so I can't speak to her as a writer in general. I can only tell you kind of my feelings about this book. And I'm a bit of a harsh critic because I do read a lot, and because I read a lot, really, really, really great authors really stand out to me from the crowd, and then there are a lot of good authors that all, there's nothing wrong with them or their ability, but they all sort of feel the same to me. And for this book, she falls into that, good writer category, where I just sort of feel like it could have been written by anybody. Now, all of that being said, it is a nice story. It does have a nice message. If you're looking for a light read, then I think it will satisfy most people. It is a woman of faith book, fiction book, and so if you are looking for some inspirational reading, it does kind of fall into that category. So I think it's worth reading. I would tell you to go out and read it, but I would say go borrow it from your library first, or you know, if a friend has it, then borrow it from them first, or you know, buy it from a secondhand bookstore or something like that before you really go out and pay full cover price for it, because this is one where I would not want you to go and buy it based on my recommendation and then really have it kind of fall flat for you the way it sort of did for me. So read it first, decide if you love it, and then by all means go buy it if you love it, because I do think it's a book worth reading, and I do think there are a lot of people that will love it. Okay, so that's all I want to say about it. It is a nice story, and if you have any questions for me, as I always say, then please leave them in the comments below. Or if you've read it, I would love to hear what you have to say about it. And if you read it based on this video, please come back after you've read it and tell me what you think about it down in the comments below. I would love to hear that. And I will put a link to my most recent video. I just posted a Ready, Set, Shop video on Saturday, so I'll add a link to that below if you missed it. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye.